Imagine, if you will, the lush, undulating hills of Jamaica. Amidst this verdant landscape, a sanctuary blossomed, shrouded in mystery, rebellion, and an unyielding spirit of resistance. This sanctuary was the brainchild of Leonard Howell, a man often hailed as the First Rasta. Howell dared to challenge the norms and defy the oppressive structures of society, creating a community that would change the face of spirituality and resistance. But how did this utopia, known as Pinnacle, rise amidst the tumultuous socio-political landscape of Jamaica? And what secrets lay buried in its history? Today, we journey through time to unravel the enigmatic tale of Pinnacle and the man who dared to challenge the status quo. In her book The First Rasta, Leonard Howell and the Rise of Rastafarianism, Helene Lee delves deep into the life of Leonard Howell, a man whose name became synonymous with Rastafarianism, and suggests that he was more than just a spiritual leader. He was a symbol of defiance against colonial oppression. Howell's teachings, deeply rooted in the belief of Emperor Haile Selassie as the Messiah, sowed the seeds of a movement that sought not just spiritual, but socio-economic liberation. In the heart of St. Catherine Parish, Howell purchased Pinnacle, a 500-acre property, from Albert Chang for £1,200. But Pinnacle was more than just a piece of land. Howell envisioned it as a sanctuary, a self-sustaining community where the principles of Rastafarianism could flourish unbridled by societal constraints. Pinnacle thrived not just as a spiritual haven, but as an economic entity, with marijuana or ganja as its linchpin. Cultivated with reverence, ganja became both a spiritual sacrament and a crucial economic resource, sustaining the community and weaving an intricate tale of prosperity, resistance, and eventual conflict. Pinnacle blossomed under Howell's leadership, seemingly untouched by the authorities, but beneath the surface, a complex web of alliances, particularly with the police, shielded the community. The tranquility and prosperity of Pinnacle were punctuated by police raids, but large international ganja shipments, sometimes escorted by the police, hinted at a level of collusion that extended into the echelons of power. In her book, Helene Lee quotes one interviewee as saying, "It was always obvious that the ganja trade was backed by politically connected businessmen. The only men who could have financed a big purchase sent trailers to transport it to the wharves and obtained a police escort to guard their investment." The government, aware since 1934 of corruption within its ranks, acknowledged that crown bailiffs and district constables apparently connive with the cultivators. After a significant raid on Pinnacle, Spanish town officers arrested Howell's teenage sons, Monty and Blade, threatening to charge them with ganja offenses unless Howell paid £2,000. Howell paid the amount, and the boys were tried for possession of stolen goods, but were discharged upon presenting evidence of the item's legitimacy. Police officers would visit Howell, expecting handouts. There's an anecdote about an officer who would visit regularly, expecting to be served food and possibly more. Howell would oblige, even preparing meals for him. Howell, astute and pragmatic, navigated through this murky landscape, ensuring a fragile peace for Pinnacle. But how long could this last? After Albert Chang's demise in 1946, Pinnacle's ownership spiraled into a vortex of legal complexities. Pinnacle was acquired by transmission by the General Administrator of Jamaica. In February 1947, ownership was transferred by the will of Albert Chang to two Kingston businessmen of Lebanese descent, Honan Fletcher and Edward Rashid Hanna. The land became a focal point of contention, intertwining Pinnacle's fate with a bureaucratic battle that threatened its very existence. The land dispute sparked a cascade of events that would ultimately lead to the violent eviction and destruction of Pinnacle. 1954 marked a seismic shift in Pinnacle's narrative. A raid, resulting in the destruction of close to 1 million ganja plants and the arrest of 138 residents, with 110 sentenced to prison terms, shattered the tranquility of the community. Described as the biggest ganja bust in Jamaican history, it signaled the crumbling of Pinnacle's fragile peace. 9,000 plants were uprooted, with 3 tons burned on the spot, but the work was too much to be done in one day, and 20 men were then employed for this task over the course of the next 3 weeks. Police corruption was rampant and unashamed. After the raid, people remember seeing constables sneaking back to Pinnacle at night and early in the morning for loads of ganja they had stashed in the underbrush during the daylight hours. The political landscape, ever shifting, altered the fate of Pinnacle. With the raid, Howell's Utopia began to crumble, becoming a symbol of resistance against the socio-political forces that sought to dismantle it. The new owners orchestrated a violent eviction of the Rastas, burning cabins and looting properties, displacing the inhabitants and extinguishing the physical embodiment of Howell's dream. The community, once a beacon of hope and defiance, was now engulfed in a struggle for survival. The fall of Pinnacle dispersed its inhabitants, casting them into an uncertain future. But with that disbursement came the growth of the Rastafarian movement as Rastas moved to other areas in Jamaica. Howell, once a charismatic leader, now navigated through a landscape altered by political, social, and legal upheavals. He had effectively lost the power to protect his people when he lost his political connections. He lost his connections to politics when he lost Pinnacle and its prosperous ganja farm. After the fall of Pinnacle, Howell drifted into the shadows. The story of his career as a prophet and leader spanning 25 years, from 1933 until 1958, was almost lost to time. Despite the fall, the spirit of Pinnacle endured, permeating through the Rastafari movement and continuing to inspire generations. The challenges, triumphs, and struggles of Pinnacle and Howell became immortalized, crafting a legacy that transcended time and space and continuing to challenge the narratives of power, resistance, and spiritual defiance. There has been an ongoing battle over the ownership of Pinnacle. Rastas have been calling for the preservation of Pinnacle. Their motivation for preservation stems from the historical and cultural significance of Pinnacle, which includes graves, remnants of Leonard Howell's residence, and other areas crucial to the early Rastafari movement and Jamaican heritage. Their efforts led to the Jamaica National Heritage Trust designating a part of Pinnacle, designated as Lot 199, as a national monument. This designation occurred after a period of lobbying and legal arguments, reflecting a step towards recognizing and preserving Pinnacle's historical and cultural significance, albeit not to the extent desired by the Rastafari community and other stakeholders. Pinnacle's echoes reverberate through time, a testament to the unyielding spirit of a community that dared to envision an alternative existence amidst the hills of Jamaica. Leonard Howell's legacy, intertwined with the saga of Pinnacle, remains etched in the annals of history, a poignant reminder of the potency of belief and the resilience of community. Thank you for journeying with us through the unveiled chronicles of Leonard Howell and Pinnacle. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. As we part ways, one question remains. How does the legacy of Pinnacle and Leonard Howell continue to challenge our understanding of resistance and spiritual defiance?